went a little crazy. 50,000 people saw it within the first hour, over 100 comments and 100 uplinks, or I think that's what they call them. Anyways, love to talk about it. That's going to be the topic of tonight's because I learned a lot. I think there's a lot of good lessons that I learned from this one post, which was crazy. I don't know if this is a typical post viral. This is the first time I've ever posted on Reddit, and a lot of lessons were learned in this. So let's just dig in right now. So yeah, I mean, let's see. So yeah, over 51,000 views already. I just posted it about 2 hours ago, maybe 3 hours ago. 109 comments and 84 upvotes. That's what it is. Um, yeah, so let's see. So I was number three on the entire program chat for this evening. So, and it was, I like I said, first time ever posting on Reddit. Lessons, a lot of lessons learned. What I learned was, yeah, I mean, obviously, you can't like just straight advertise on Reddit. I get that you're supposed to add value and all this stuff, and yeah. So, anyways, so the what I put out there was, kind of my story. I think I definitely need to tweak the messaging. Got that. But yeah, I put out my story, the origins of why I made the company I did, Verideal, and kind of what's going on, right? So the comments that I had, I analyzed, which is a lot, which was the first tier of uh, grouping was like, this is an ad, right? All right, cool. Yeah, it was. I'm sorry. I wanted to get my brand out there and it did. I got it out there. So that was cool. Um, there's some really funny ones. Definitely not appropriate, but I'll just say about that. And then the next topic was kind of like the industry experts, putting their 2 cents in, which was good because, there's this one, I'll read it. So Tech Sales Hunter, and 99% of sales reps do not have the proof you're talking about. 99% of hiring managers won't be asking for that proof either. You're fine. Good. Fair point. So, is that right? Because put it this way. What he just said, or this person, whoever this is, right? Whatever this person just said was that A, the hiring managers don't care about proof of who and what you've done. That I don't know of another profession that's okay. Okay, so here's an example. Think if you have to go get a lawyer, all right? And you're gonna Google search lawyer, you're gonna probably call a few of them, you're gonna ask some friends, and then all of a sudden you're gonna realize, like, okay, let me just try to understand if you're good or not, right? Very basic level. Or a plumber, um, an accountant, are you gonna save money? Are you gonna save me money on taxes? Can you show me proof that you have? Um, so see where I'm kind of going with all this. There's a lot of professions out there in this world right now that we can automatically just be like, yeah, there's their track record, and that's why they're good. So when when I read this post, 99% of hiring managers, to this person, 99% of hiring managers won't be asking for this type of proof. It kind of like was like, well, that's kind of the flaw that I see in this market. That's why I created this company. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, is because if companies want to truly be successful in this new era of AI, fake deep fakes, like all this stuff, crazy, crazy stuff, right? Then they need to find sales reps that are actually that can do what they say that they do, not just a resume. And so it was kind of a interesting, right? And then here's another thing, which was engineers and developers and all these people, right, writing programs. They didn't have verified proof for a while until the GitHub, GitLabs, came to be. And so that way you could like access their repos and be like, oh yeah, these are pretty solid people. So I think a lesson that I learned from just this one post on Reddit was that the sales community is like brand new to this idea that, oh wait, maybe I do, there is no verification right now. It's all about vibes and trust and like, well, I can. And there's another comment about like, well, I just hired, I've been hiring people for 30 years and I just know if they're going to be good or not. Or another argument is like time, territory, and talent. Okay, but at the very end of the day, you're the sales rep or sales manager, or you're the VP of that sales organization. Why are you going to go hire 30 people and only 20% of them are actually going to be worth their salt? That's a huge waste of money, time, resources when you can simply just hire maybe 50% of what you're actually going to hire, but you're going to hit that quota. You're going to hit those targets without batting an eye. Anyways, let's keep going. Oh, here's a good one. I haven't read this one yet. Like I said, 109 comments from that one post. All right, so storytelling is far more powerful. I care more about the process and how you landed the deal rather than like proving that you've actually closed the deal. But here's the thing, my reaction to that post, which is Verideal just kind of confirms that the deal happened, right? So like how you reading this post again, care more about the process, okay, the sales process, how you engage with the customer, and how you landed the deal. Totally understood. Got it. But so Verideal is just going to add the next layer, proving that it happened, proving from the buyer's side that when the deal closes or doesn't close, which is also perfectly fine, but you proved to the buyer and to yourself through Verideal that yes, the deal either won or lost, totally fine, but this is how I handled it. This is what I did. It's just an added layer of protection to yourself and to, how you're going to be perceived in the market. So the legal panic. Oh yeah. See, this is where I kind of fell short. It was my fault. It was a bad line in the post about taking screenshots. That was dumb. Don't do that. That's stupid. Don't do that. Yeah. Instead, just if you win or lose a deal, log in Verideal, and you're good. All you're asking for is a buyer rating. Making sure the buyer is like, all right, yeah, this sales rep was good. Yeah. So anyways, 51,000 people, saw that post. Hundreds replied to it and commented and got into it. So that was interesting. What I learned from it for myself was, like holistically a high level is if you are going to build in public and start your own company and you're going to go on social medias, be careful. Anyone's susceptible to, I guess you can say the mental health side of it is, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of reactions, good, bad, neutral, funny. And so what helped me was the fact that when I started seeing this actually taking off this afternoon, what I did was I wanted to analyze and kind of control the metrics of what I was reading and listening to. I wanted to hear the tones. That way I could better, get the message across. So I was able to put all of this into my LLM. So I use Claude, Anthropic. And then that helped me, understand what was being said. It helped me understand where my messaging and my messaging hit and how to improve it. So I'm excited for the next phase. It was a good trial. Just gotta keep going, right? And then so here's a very important lesson that I learned. So from all those comments and all that feedback, what I really was interested in was learning about how my ICP, so ideal customer profile for Verideal, and who that is. And I've always known who it is, but I think just over time, messaging different apps, different platforms, I get it wrong, and I'm human. Sorry, but for me, the way that I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of different sales reps is one, a lot of people are laid off right now. A lot of people are looking for jobs, and every single job out there, whether it's the 50% that are not hiring or the 50% that are actually hiring. So think about it this way, like average job application has 100 applicants, and and then on top of that, 50% of job applications are all fake. So how are you going to stand out? And so that's what Verideal, my entire purpose is to help those people stand out. And that's it. I want them to be able to look back into their career. One person said it's kind of like a Rolodex, right? Look back in their career, take out the relationships that they've had with their buyers, put it on a platform that's trusted and verified, and there's a two-way verification. And then that way, when you go out for that next job, you can show the hiring manager and the VP, like, hey, this is what I've done, backed by, this is kind of like Google reviews, right? For me, with my buyers. So that's great. And then I guess the second ICP is, ideal customer profile is, I want to make sure that and give a platform for the generation that is kind of like sub 5 years in the workforce. So, and put yourselves in their shoes. They either graduated right before COVID or during COVID. Job market boomed, and then it peaked, and then it fell, right? And they're throughout all these layoffs, and it's crazy, right? So how do that generation that just graduated before COVID or during COVID and now trying to stand out in the job market, right? If they're in sales, that typically means the first 2 to 3 years, maybe even longer, they're in that BDR, SDR role where they're just pounding the phone and emails, right? Getting meetings for older generation sales reps. So how do you stand out so that way when that role does come up, you get that first sales role, right? Now you land that first sales role. That's where I'm really targeting. You're in the first year, maybe 3 years of actually selling a full sales cycle. It's typically you're in the SMB role, or maybe it's just called account executive role. So now you're able to track all your deals within Verideal. And all you have to do is, and the data that we're asking is not much. It's less than you would even imagine. It's just simply that the buyer says, yeah, I worked with Johnny or Sally on this deal, and yes, they're great. I highly recommend them, and yes, I'll be a part of their network. So then these sales reps, a sub 5 years, after a few months, after a few years, they are building this solid portfolio of how many buyers, right? How many deals. and the trajectory. And then we will be able to picture where they started and where they're going. So when they go out for the promotion up to commercial or mid-market or even enterprise sales, and they're competing against a veteran sales rep, for me as a hiring manager, as an owner of a company, and I saw someone with a good resume, a very tenured resume, or someone with a track record and with all their buyers and showing what they've done, how well they've taken care of their customers, and all this stuff, I'm way more intrigued by that personally. And sure, I'm biased, but I'm way more intrigued by that because guess what? That means they have proof that these people that bought from them, whether it's technology or whatever, actually care. Like you, that sales rep did their job properly. Now, the veteran sales resume can look equally as impressive, right? Hit, all these metrics, but did they just walk into a territory? Did they happen this? Now, if you're in sales, you're probably thinking, okay, wait, hold on. These people over here with a very Veridio profile can just walk in territory and knock it out of the park. And I totally agree. I've seen that. But can you do that time and time again, year after year? No. I think I know one person that's been that lucky, and that person was only that lucky for about like 2 years max. So year after year, a verified Veridio profile, building and showing it, right? And then versus a veteran, right? That you don't really have any data. You don't have any references, nothing, right? You just kind of like, all right, well, great, you can close deals. But, that was a big lesson that I learned. So, yeah. Do you guys have any questions? What do you think about toilets? Some good, some bad, some gross. Here's a tip. I'm not sure who that is, but if you're on a road trip, funny enough, if you're on a road trip, instead of stopping for food somewhere else or getting coffee anywhere else, go to Target. Target typically has really good and clean toilets. They have a Starbucks, and then they have groceries, food. It's all you need, and you can stretch your legs because the groceries are way in the back. Kind of a weird tip, I know, but it's good. Any other questions? Hey, Brandon. Anyways, look, it was a good, 51,000 views before I came on from one Reddit post, over 109 comments. I'm sure there's more by now. Actually, let me just update it. Let's see where it's at. Yeah, 56,000 views and 115 comments. So, that was my first post ever on Reddit. So lessons I will happily give to everybody out there that wants to listen is, first, if you're going to start your own business, if you're going to start your own job, or like go out there, build a brand, go on social media, just be careful, be mentally strong, and understand that like when there's a third or half of the people that don't like you, don't agree with whatever your idea is, it's okay. Put it into a context that you can understand. So what I do is I put it into Claude, and I was able to have Claude critique me and be very critical of everything that I'm doing. That way I can continue to develop myself, but that way I can reframe and understand different aspects of my company without losing sight of the entire purpose and the goal, which is helping people get hired. That's it. It's pretty simple. So be careful if you're going to try to go out there. You can easily go down a rabbit hole of just being very down on yourself. Second thing I would say is, you just got to keep learning, keep talking, keep getting out there. Not everyone's going to like you. It's not like Michael Scott from The Office. Everyone loves him, right? Anyways, but yeah, any questions out there before I log off? All right, cool. Thanks, y'all. I am I go live when Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then on top of that, I just did a podcast with the Exceptional Sales Leader last night. So I got permission. I will be posting that on my YouTube channel. I will be posting that Monday, this coming Monday, and then it'll be live on his channel in about a few weeks. He has a backlog. I don't. So, like I said, he said I could post it first. And then I'll be on another podcast Wednesday. Yeah, this coming Wednesday. So, I'll make sure I share the links. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the support.